So there's an article in the Vancouver Sun talking about how the governor of the Bank of Canada, Mr. Carney, is complaining about how Canadians have too much debt, and now Canadians have on average almost $26,000 of debt per person, and this is not including mortgage debt. This is just like credit card debt and line of credits and things like that. And so the Economist is saying that Mr. Carney is talking about the debt problems, but in reality, by lowering interest rates artificially low to 1%, that the common consequence is going to be excessive borrowing. Because rates are low, people think it's cheap to borrow money. So the disrupting of the supply and demand function of money makes it much more lucrative to borrow money than it is to save money. Because if inflation is running wild, at 5-10% a year, you can borrow at 1 or 2%, you're making 3 to 8% on somebody else's money. So people are borrowing at record levels, debt levels are at record highs, and the governor keeps talking about how, Canadians need to get their house in order. But maybe, Governor Carney, maybe we need to get our house in order, or more specific, you need to help get our house in order. Because it was your policies of lowering interest rates to record lows of 1% that spurred all this borrowing. Until you curb this, until you raise interest rates to a market level, and who knows what the market level might be? It might be 2, 3, 4, or 5%. People are going to continuously borrow. They're not going to stop borrowing. They're just going to borrow more and more because there's no reason not to. People are reacting to the carrot on the stick. They're not that foolish. I mean, they might not understand all the intricacies of borrowing money and why it might make sense more now to borrow than it is to save. But this is something that you, Mark Carney, Governor Carney, did. And I know that even in the article, The Economist is talking about how we needed more liquidity, so he did the right thing at the time. That I don't agree with. But the thing that he does say that I agree with is that he's telling Governor Carney to stop complaining about something that he did. It's one thing to say, we need to do something different to fix a problem when you didn't cause it. But for Mr. Carney to say that, oh well, we have too much debt, when he is the key player in inciting and encouraging people to borrow way too much money, well, I don't think that's fair, and that doesn't make much sense. Governor Carney, you have to raise interest rates. This housing bubble in the Canadian market is going to pop just like there's all these housing bubbles across the entire planet, in Australia or Spain, in the US. All these problems are because of artificially low interest rates. Yeah, the jobs numbers just came out. We have some jobs, whatever, but this is on borrowed time. All we're doing is printing a whole bunch of money. Debt is going up, and we're hiring some people to do some jobs, and those jobs are going to disappear in the near future. Raise interest rates or stop bitching.